And now, it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, rock cod Rick Maxa, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. And Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray and Rock Cod Rick Maxa.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We're in the Mighty 1090 studios with Scott Sherman and John Toon from Snapp Insurance. We're going to be talking fishing, insurance, how to properly secure your boat so it's safe. You stay tuned. Southern California Sport Fishing Voices. Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
If you are looking for a powerful, smooth, great casting reel at an affordable price, check out the Shimano Torium HG. It's up to 30% smaller than the previous generation, but still has the same line capacity. The smaller S-compact body design and one-piece die-cast aluminum frame provides more rigidity and lighter weight. Torium now has EI surface treatment and is tested up to 700 times the corrosion resistance of past models. The Shimano Torium HG is not only better on the outside, the inside is amazing with a cross-carbon drag, providing up to 24 pounds of drag pressure from a star drag reel. It has a sealed roller clutch and 6.2 to 1 brass gears. The machined aluminum handle has a larger knob to make it easy to crank in the big fish. The new lightweight aluminum spool gives you better casting and control. Available in 3 sizes, the Torium HD is the next evolution in compact, rigid, and powerful saltwater star drag reels. Get it now at your local Shimano dealer.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
Rancho Leonero was awarded the Certificate of Excellence from TripAdvisor for 4 straight years. Especially interesting, most hotels are just hotels, and most people stay in the hotel and go do their activities elsewhere. Rancho Leonero, of course, provides fishing, diving, all activities, all meals, your whole vacation. So the fact that we're so highly rated, we're very proud of it. From picking you up at the airport to dropping you off, literally everything is turnkey from there. We make it as easy as we can for you at the ranch. From your meals to whether you're going to go fishing or diving or just hang out by the pool. When you're coming to Rancho Leonero, you are coming to John Ireland's home. I guarantee the best fishing vacation experience in all of Baja. That's unique. There's nowhere that I could think of to get the same experience that you get at Rancho Leonero. Our new reservation phone number is 800-646-2252, 646-BAJA, and RanchoLeonero.com. It's really unique. It is. We're very proud of it.
Saturday, November 5th, it's Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. It's our largest sale ever. Plenty of seminars by saltwater experts, incredible deals on tackle, closeouts we've never offered before. Plus, over 20 tackle manufacturers' representatives like Costa, building high-quality polarized eyewear for serious saltwater anglers. Huge selection of Costa, and get a free gift with every Costa purchase. Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing will have unbelievable pricing on tackle, clothing, and accessories. There is also a huge raffle, best ever tackle bargains at Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing, Saturday, November 5th.
This time of year, the fishing offshore is hit and miss. Some days you struggle, the other days you come home with your limit of yellowfin. Believe me, you never know. But unlike the unpredictability of fishing, you can always count on Ford F-Series pickups. America's best-selling trucks, 39 years and counting. One reason F-150 is so popular with fishermen is the high-strength military-grade aluminum body panels. Chevy, Dodge, and Toyota bodies will all eventually rust, but not F-150. Its body panels won't rust ever. That's pretty important for folks like us that launch boats on a regular basis. And F-150's revolutionary body is bolted to a solid steel frame to make it stronger, more capable, and more efficient than ever. When it comes to trucks, fishermen and fisherwomen can always rely on Ford. And right now is a great time to buy. Special incentives have just been announced. That means bigger savings and lower payments on F-150. Log on to their new website, buyfordnow.com, for all the details. That's buyfordnow.com. Then stop by your nearest San Diego County Ford dealer. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Going to be a fun show today.
Yes, it is. Our good buddy Scott Sherman, formerly with Fifth Avenue Insurance.
Wait a minute. What's
and
going
now
on here?
with John Toon from Snapp Insurance. Explain that to us, Sherm.
Got some explaining to do.
Yeah, well, after 25 years over at Fifth Avenue Insurance, Dad and I got that thing started as a small little agency and grew it up and got it larger and got to a point where with my other job, at the city council and looking at timing of things, we decided, you know what, maybe it's a time to kind of sell the business and move into a different phase. And John over at Snapp Insurance, he and I have been good buddies for about 15 years, friendly competitors in the industry for a very long time, and it was just a perfect fit. So basically we've sold to John over at Snapp Insurance, but at the same time I'm there still selling insurance. My wife is still there now selling insurance. About 80% of our employees went over to the new agency. Cool. So for the customer who's used to dealing with Fifth Avenue, when they call Snapp on their policy, chances are they're going to be talking to the same person they talked to over at Fifth Avenue. So not a whole lot has changed other than my responsibilities and the name on the door.
Which I do. I mean, I insure my boat through Snapp Insurance and the business through Snapp Insurance, and still dealing with Brenda and the other people that I was dealing with at Fifth Avenue Insurance. Kind of a seamless transition there.
Other than the name on the letterhead, not too many people even realize that this happened. And I figured, you know what, we've been advertising on this show for quite a while and been kind of around the fishing world. So I figured, why don't we get together and just kind of introduce John and Snapp and let everybody know what we're doing.
We have to do it, John. How does this change your business at Snapp Insurance?
Well, when we looked at Fifth Avenue, again, we've known Scott for a long time, and we looked at Fifth Avenue, and the business model was very, very similar to what we did. Same market, similar types of business that we wrote, and just the merger of the two companies allowed us to go from two long-term solid agencies in the county to becoming one of the largest independently held brokers in the county.
Wow.
And, we just have an amazing base of insurance companies and a lot of product to offer our clients. It's cool.
That's great. Yeah, fantastic. So, you were mostly in commercial and such like that, and now you're doing kind of everything.
That's correct. Yes, Snapp was primarily a commercial broker. We did have a personal insurance department where we wrote home, auto, boats, but the Fifth Avenue acquisition really allowed us to expand in that area. So we've grown substantially in our personal lines department.
Because Sherman, that was kind of your expertise at Fifth, right?
Yeah. We kind of were opposite each other. We had some commercial and a pretty good book in some aspects, but we had a whole bunch of home, auto, boat, what we call personal lines business. And it was just a perfect marriage of the two companies. I mean, and the benefit for the customer is now we're such a larger market, we have more options available to our customers, and now we get to go in and market all these policies and see if there's better fits other places and get better coverage, better premiums, those type of things.
That's cool.
Yeah. Now, insurance for a boat. How? A lot of our listeners are probably going, well, do I have enough? Do I have the right insurance for my boat? How do you know? Like you just bought a brand new Parker from West Coast Marine, and you kind of like it?
Just a little bit.
Yeah. And how do you insure your boat? I mean, explain kind of what Scott Sherman, who knows boating insurance, insures his boat.
Well, first thing you need to do is make sure that you know what the replacement cost is. On a brand new boat like mine, it was pretty easy because you know what you paid for it. That's pretty much the cost to replace it.
Yeah.
But then a lot of things that people don't think about, you have to start considering. Where am I going to take the boat? What waters am I going to be in?
Am I going to Mexico? Am I going offshore?
So many people don't realize it. And we're only a few miles from the Coronado Islands and traveling into Mexican waters. A lot of people don't realize on their policy that there's exclusions for being in Mexico. Talking to your agent, having an agent who knows marine insurance is the most important thing. And then the other thing I look at, too, is the gear I'm going to have on the boat. Because it's amazing once you lose something, how much it costs to replace all that stuff.
Right?
I mean, if you even think about your tackle box.
Gear is, when they say personal items on a policy, that means stuff that's not attached to the boat. Doesn't include electronics or stuff like that.
Right.
Your binoculars, your tackle, and that kind of stuff.
Right. Anything you bring on the boat and port back with
that's
you, stuff that's not attached. Yeah. There's two covers. There's personal property, and then there's also tackle and equipment. I tell you guys, look at the tackle and equipment side of your policy, because I had a tackle box a few years back that was stolen, and I had to start replacing all the things that were in that tackle box. Now, some of my favorite swimming lures and stuff you just can't replace, but if I just looked at all the different spools of fluorocarbon leader I've acquired over the years, the different pound tests and everything else, I mean, by the time you start adding that up to replace what's in that tackle box, you're talking a couple of grand easy.
Easy. Sure. I mean, you think about Rapalas are $25 a piece. Taddy 45s, $12 a piece. I mean, that's an each. You know, I mean, how many do all of us have in there that you don't even think about?
Right. And then
you acquire over the years. You buy a couple at Fred Hall show, you get a couple here. You don't realize that you got thousands of dollars that add up.
Yeah, it adds up really quick. Plus, you've got your rods and reels and everything else. And, you know, some of these setups the guys are fishing nowadays, especially, you know, with the poppers and the Stellas and all these high-end deals. I mean, heck, when I go fishing, I have 15 rods up in my holders up there.
Yeah.
And you have to start counting what would it cost to replace every single one of those things. And it adds up, and most of the policy coverages are small amounts. You need to boost those up.
Now, when you're talking about Mexico, okay, I look at my policy, and it says I have coverage to Rio Santo Tomas. Where the heck is Rio Santo Tomas?
Rio Santo Tomas is actually just below the Punta Banda in Ensenada. So
okay.
You get down to the wine country there if you're going south of Ensenada on the road.
Yes.
And then the first hill you come down, that's Rio Santo Tomas.
That's Rio Santo Tomas.
So it covers to there.
To Rio. So, right. So you could go to Ensenada on that policy.
And still have coverage.
And still have coverage. However, if you wanted to go down to Cedros or you wanted to go down to San Quintin, you'd need additional coverage.
Yeah, depending on the company, you can get it endorsed on there. Some companies will cover you all the way down to Baja, and you know, all the way down to Cabo and those type of things.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of getting a second endorsement on your policy.
Or the right company. I mean, it's the boat and the situation that you're in. Different companies fit all the time, and that's one of the good things with an independent agent with a lot of different companies is we get all your information, then we know where you fit.
Yeah. Okay. Now on a new boat. Insurance, like you say, is pretty. I mean, you pay. Here's what you paid for the boat. Here's what it's worth. That's what your insurance for. Now, I purchased an older boat, 1976 Pacifica, and that was a little more difficult. I purchased it and then put a lot of money into it, and that kind of changes things. Then Then what I had to do is I had to prove that I had to give them receipts of what I put into it, and then they determine. What is valid and what is not as far as increasing the value of the boat.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And usually when you're including new things, when you first do it, then it's almost the same kind of replacement cost value, and it depreciates after that. But when you first add it on there, that's what you want to do.
That's what they want to do. Yeah. So how do you determine, or how does an insurance company determine the value of a boat if it isn't a new boat?
They have all kinds of, almost like a blue book kind of thing with cars. They have the same thing for boats. And then usually a lot of times, too, is purchase price comes into it a lot. Depending on size, if it's over 25 foot, they're going to want, or 26 foot, excuse me, they're going to want a survey if it hasn't been done within so many years.
Gotcha.
Survey will tell them a lot on what the replacement cost is going to be.
Yeah, okay. All right. And then as far as coverage for other things that people own, their home, their auto, and the stuff like that. Can you bind those all into your boat policy, or is everything separate?
Yeah, they're depending on the company. If you put home, auto, and boat together, a lot of times you can get up to 30% discount on your boat insurance. So, but packaging a lot of times is the way to go. And a lot of times we'll look at a boat and say try and compete with another carrier. And sometimes we won't compete on the boat, but then when you package the home and the auto and the boat together and they look at the whole package with what they paid on their home, their auto, and their boat, then there'll be a substantial reduction in premium.
Yeah. What about somebody that's trailering their boat? Is that different?
Sure.
Yeah, no, your boat will be covered while it's being trailered.
It is all part of that policy.
Right. Depending on the company, but most of them will cover while you're being trailered as well.
Okay. It covers for road hazards and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you lose control and the boat gets crashed, somebody runs into the back and doesn't have insurance, those types of things.
Yeah, that happens.
You keep saying depending on the company, which I think is such a big thing because you guys and your agents basically take all these things into account, like Pete's saying, the amount of gear you have, the amount of distance you're going to travel, whether you are going to Mexico, maybe you're not going to Mexico, and so you take all those parameters and then you'll shop who you feel is going to be the best fit for each person, their individual needs.
Right, and a lot of times we'll give you options, okay, here's the lowest price, but here's where you're not going to be covered.
Sure.
Here's where you're going to have issues. For everything that you wanted, here's the one company that offers it all, and here's what they cost.
Right.
These guys maybe that's the way it is.
Sure, these guys may be more, these guys might fit your budget, here's, and we'll work with you. Maybe this guy in the middle makes the most sense because it's not as much. It's maybe not everything, but it's most everything, and you can cover everything.
Exactly.
Easy. And super easy.
Yeah, and that's the benefit of actually having an agent instead of just going online and plugging in the numbers and getting a premium. So many times I get people who go online, they plug things in, they get a really cheap premium, they think everything's great until they have a claim.
Everything's perfect until you need to use it.
Until you need to use it, yeah, exactly right. And then it's a big difference.
And then here's the other thing, too. When you do need to use it, you pick up a phone and call a buddy. You know, I mean, somebody that you know and you've dealt with and everything else like that. I mean, talk about a difference between the cheap rate. You know, I went online and I got this. You got nobody that's got your back.
Right, and many times I've had, people call and say, hey, the carrier's telling me that they're not going to cover this because of X or Y.
Sure.
We'll look at the policy and say, well, they may be mistaken, and we'll call them and say, this is where that coverage is given back or whatever, that kind of thing. So
now you've got an agency calling on your behalf instead of just one single little guy.
And when you do the online thing, you're basically at the mercy of the company.
I'm sure.
Because you don't know anything any better,
Yeah, you don't have anybody you can really pick up the phone. You send them an email to something, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, who knows what that is?
Here's the customer service link, and I hope they get back to me.
Yeah, no, that program, John. John, how does the commercial side of the business differ from what Scott was just talking about?
Well, in a lot of ways, it's really similar. When a business owner comes to us with their insurance needs, we take all of their specs and typically we'll go out to multiple markets to evaluate policy form and pricing and try to come back with the best package that's available for our client.
Mm-hmm. So how do you determine, like, having a business policy is so kind of, how do you decide what is the right policy for a business policy of there's so much diversity in a company.
Right. Well, we're doing the same things in regards to evaluating, real property values. We have software programs that we can key in specs on the building, and it'll kick back a fairly accurate cost to rebuild in the event of a total loss. And then, a lot of, the valuations on personal property is just working with the client to go through and try to come up with a realistic idea of the investment they've made in, their product, their inventory, their computers, phone systems, et cetera.
Yeah, a lot of different aspects to cover. Yeah, you guys. But it's cool that you have kind of merged this whole expertise from both sides.
Yeah, now we're with about, 60-plus employees now. I mean, we're a fairly large agency, and it's going to be good for our customers all the way around. And for me especially, too, with a lot of the personal lines things we do in the boats, a lot of your larger boats, most of these people who can afford the larger boats have some type of business that backs that up. Mm-hmm. And now we have people, not that we couldn't do it before, but we have such a larger area of commercial and expertise that, hey, boat insurance, we can save you. Now we can look at all these other things and probably save you some money and enhance your coverage at the same time.
Yeah, indeed. So what about fishing, Sherm? You said you've been whacking the lobsters. We posted on our Instagram. Check out our Instagram. Hookup 1090 is our Instagram code there, and check out Sherm's catch from the other night in the bay.
Yeah, it's different now that I'm actually on a big boy boat instead of that piece of plastic I used to paddle around.
Yeah.
All my spots that I used to go-to spots before with the kayak were all very shallow and treacherous areas to get to on a boat. That's why they were so productive for the kayak. So now I'm re-exploring and learning new areas and figuring out the electronics. But the basics are the same. Find the structure, find the current, and find the right area, and drop the bait and hope for the best.
Yeah, no doubt. And you had a pretty good night.
Yeah, we had 3 guys on the boat. We ended up with 15 keepers. One was pushing close to 4 pounds. They were all quality bugs.
Nice. That's a nice one.
Yeah, we only had 6 shorts the whole night. It was crazy good night.
Yeah.
But and it's weird too how location can make such a difference. Our first pulls weren't that good. We moved maybe a quarter mile down the bay, and next thing you know, we found the right little structure, and there they were.
How cool,
They're
man.
just hanging out there. It's like, hi, Sherm, how are
waiting
you?
for my bait. That's what they're doing.
Just waiting. And then as far as that Parker goes, so we've talked about that with Kevin when he was in here. What do you like about it? How's it changed your life having that?
What don't I like about it?
Exactly.
I love that walk around cutting that you've got.
I agree.
That is my favorite.
The best of both worlds.
Yeah, it really is. I looked at the traditional pilot house when I was looking at the boats, and the helm is a little bit further forward in the pilot house, so you get bounced around a little bit more, and I like to be able to feel the wind and look back and see the full spread without seeing some wall and that kind of thing. The walk-around has all the perfect handles, just designed in all the right spots. I mean, the minute you start walking around it and you think, oh, I need to reach to grab something to hold on, it's right there. I mean,
cool.
It's just designed perfect. It's a great boat.
Yeah, it is. And you've been getting out catching fish and catching lobsters and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we've been getting out
learning the deal.
About once a week, figuring out the boat. There's still little gizmos and stuff we're trying to figure out, especially with all the electronics on it. But with the tower up there and the 65-gallon tank on there, for bait, dual 200 horsepowers on the back, it does get up and move.
Yeah, you have controls on the tower too?
No, but I'm looking. The motors can do the wireless, so
exactly.
I was thinking about putting a joystick up on the tower.
Oh boy, here we go.
And trying out that, because the view from up on the tower is pretty amazing. And right now our system is I have a guy up in the tower and we're cruising along. If they see birds or a patty, they stomp on the roof, and I kind of yell out and see where they're going. It'd be kind of nice to be up there doing it, but.
Yeah,
that's the next thing we're looking at.
There you go.
That's awesome.
That's good. What about the city council? We haven't covered your other job. Yeah. What's how are we looking with the city council and as far as things that affect fishermen?
Overall, it's doing pretty well. I mean, I've been there for almost 4 years now. Everybody knows that I'm kind of the go-to person when it comes to fishing and water issues around the bay and the ocean, those types of things. We worked diligently to deal with the Mexican visa issue, which is now taken care of. I mean, even the mayor and I went down to Mexico City and talked to the immigration people down there trying to get that thing wrapped up, and finally got that taken care of. The relationships with Mexico are doing pretty well now, and we're working real well with the Sport Fishing Association and those guys.
Yeah, I think that the visa thing is pretty seamless now.
Yeah, and it's just a few years ago that it was, every time we pick up the phone or the radio and have the show, somebody was calling in and complaining about the problems with areas being off limits and getting the visa. Now it's pretty seamless. And that was a lot because the mayor and the Sport Fishing Association and myself and you guys and everything, we all worked together with the Mexican authorities and got that taken care of.
Got it all done. Yeah. Well, as you can hear, we have a great show to talk about today. A lot of fishing to talk about. We're going to get some great reports, find out what's going on there. You can talk insurance. You can talk fishing with John and Sherm. Good show.
Yeah, lots to cover and a lot of really good information coming your way. We want to hear from you this morning. If you want to join us, be a part of Let's Talk Hookup, there's two ways you can be on the show this morning. And first is with our local line, which we do have a local number open right now, 858 area code 457-1090. Again, 858-457-1090. That's our local number. Or you can reach us toll-free. That toll-free line, 877-792-1090. Again, 877-792-1090, local number or the toll-free number. Both of them a great opportunity to get through right now. And not only are we going to be taking your phone calls, like Pete said, talking insurance, talking tackle, talking fishing, reports, we are also giving away such a great prize for one lucky caller at the end of the show today, and that's an AFTCO Performance Package that includes an AFTCO Performance shirt, a Performance pair of board shorts, and one of those great AFTCO sun face masks. And it also includes a 3-quarter-day trip to go fishing aboard the San Diego at a C4 Sport Fishing. I'll bet that's close to a $300 value prize. Very cool opportunity. You're going to get to go fishing on the San Diego on a 3-quarter-day trip with Captain Ryan Bostian. Get in all that great fishing's going on right now. Still very good yellowfin tuna fishing with light loads to be had on the San Diego and a full AFTCO clothing performance package. An awesome prize for one lucky caller at the end of the show today. And again, if you want to get your shot at all those goodies, or better yet, your chance to talk to John, talk to Scott, 858 area code 457-1090 or 877-792-1090. And when we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls. Lots of great information coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
Saturday, November 5th, it's Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. Our largest sale ever. Seminars by saltwater experts, incredible deals on tackle. Over 20 tackle manufacturers like Shimano, with great products like Talica, Tranx, Trinidad A, and Terramar. Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing, Saturday, November 5th. Fisherman's Landing is the top choice in local and long-range fishing. Hi, this is Doug Kern. Our hardworking crew is always looking for ways to improve your fishing experience. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. We are proud to say Fisherman's Landing is now a full-service sport fishing operation, offering half-day trips on the Dolphin, and now, for the first time in the long history of Fisherman's Landing, we have 3/4-day open party trips on the Liberty. We built the Liberty specifically to offer a better experience. Run by veteran captain Taro Takeuchi, the 85-foot Liberty is the first open party 3/4-day boat to offer bunks for your comfort. She also has huge bait capacity and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Plus, Liberty has a big galley and 2 interior heads with showers. Our open party trips from half-day, 3/4-day, or 1 to 3 day trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Information is the key to success, and inside information is even better. When it comes to fishing, inside information is critical, and that's what FishDope.com delivers. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and save fuel. FishDope.com is the only SST service with a satellite oceanographic PhD on board, the only fish finding service with a spotter plane. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Martin Island, 365 days a year. FishDope.com boasts the largest code group anywhere, covering sport boats, commercial boats, and private boaters. FishDope.com has online planning tools, moon phase, tides, hot bite icons, and more. What I'm telling you is, if you don't have FishDope.com, well, good luck. Membership costs less than 40 gallons of gas for the entire year. That's right, 1 year. What a bargain. Plus, stay tuned for the special code to save $20 on a FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
Pete here. I was fortunate enough to use the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 touchscreen chart plotter and sonar unit on my boat this summer and fall. And let me say, it's truly incredible. With an easy-to-use tablet-style interface that's fresh but familiar, the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 combines a multi-touch screen with push-to-select rotary dial for precision control and speedy response. As for marking schools of tuna, yellowtail, and more, it's the best. You run over a school, and there they are in full color and high definition. The new NSS Evo 2 built-in sonar technology, including chirp and structure scan, can't be beat. I recently added the Simrad AP24 autopilot to my system. I've had other autopilots before, but I can tell you this one is simple, sensitive, and accurate. It integrates with my Simrad NSS Evo 2. I set a waypoint, touch the screen, and the boat steers to that spot. There's a lot more to the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 system and AP24 autopilot I'd like to tell you, but best just go to your local Simrad dealer or see simrad-yachting.com for more details.
It's time to get outside on the east side and celebrate fall colors, arts, culture, and recreation in the Eastern Sierra. From now until the first snow, there are a variety of activities that capture the essence of autumn. In addition to enjoying fall color viewing, the season hosts fishing derbies and biking events to theater performances, a kite festival, and art festivals. Check out the Outside on the East Side details on the Fall Colors page at visitmammoth.com. That's visitmammoth.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Having a good morning here this morning. Again, if you want to get through, join in on the fun, be a part of Let's Talk Hookup. Probably the best line right now would be with our toll-free. The local line's getting full. Still an opportunity on that local line, which is 858-457-1090. But your best bet to get through right now, toll-free number 877-792-1090.
Yeah, and we heard Doug Kern talking about Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing. That's coming up. I know that's occupying a lot of your time these days. November the 5th, Saturday, November 5th, we'll be broadcasting live there right in front of Fisherman's Landing Tackle and Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. It should be a great day and a great time down there. And we talked a little bit about it yesterday. The seminar speaker is going to be pretty cool.
It's huge. That's kind of my gig, or one of the big parts, and I take a lot into it and always try to make have seminars that I would want to go to. But our big goal is, Fisherman's Landing Tackle is a saltwater shop, period. That's all we do. But we cover everything. So seminars try to reflect the same thing, from surf fishing to bay fishing to mid-range private boat to offshore to long range and everything in between. And so from Captain Brian Sims of the Royal Star, all the way down to bay fishing and surf fishing and everything in between. That's our goal. And we usually have between, they're all still coming together, but we usually have between 12 and 16 seminars that go on throughout the day. And we have a main stage in the parking lot, and then there'll be several of the sport fishing boats that'll be backed in, and there'll be seminars going on, usually 3 to 4 going on at a time, ranging from all those different things, calico bass and that kind of stuff. And I know, speaking of Parkers, Dwayne Diego's going to have the Pinnacle Sport Fishing. He's going to bring his Parker boat over and do a seminar from the boat on private boat fishing. So it's going to be a really fun day. Huge sales, big raffle, and
did Doug make some big deals?
Yeah, we did a good one. Knowing how things have been, Doug is really good on manufacture, things like that, and yeah, we got some closeouts that will be huge discounts, and then just mega discounts on all the normal stuff we do at the shop. Sales going to be probably the best thing that we do of the year as far as sales wise, and big giant raffle. All the money goes to Friends of Rollo. So Doug doesn't require any of the guys who are there displaying stuff, the CalStars, the Shimano's, all that kind of stuff. None of them are required to pay any money to be at the event. The only thing that they require is to donate some kind of extra cool prize to the raffle. And then that way we can.
Huge.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, and so all of the CalStars and Seekers and Shimano's that are there are all donating rods and reels and things like that. And so all the money goes to Friends of Rollo's. We get to cut a nice check to Rollo at the end of the thing. It's just it's a rad, fun, easy day.
Wow, pretty awesome.
We were really excited. We work real hard for it and try to make it a really fun event, and we're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a good one this year.
Fantastic. Well, let's head down to the East Cape. John Ireland's calling us from Rancho Leonero in Baja, East Cape. Buenos dias, John.
Good morning, Pete, Rick, Scott, John.
Morning, John.
We've got beautiful weather and pretty good fishing. It's spotty. It's like every other day. It's all about the tuna right now. We've had yesterday. Give you an example. We had Jeff Burns and Rodney Hoffman from Arizona picked up a 129 and a 101. Let's see what else happened yesterday. We had another group from Arizona that had they had 7 fish, largest 80 pounds. What's happening is they're moving up and down the coast. They're one day they'll be at Rincon at the lighthouse. The next day they'll be further south down at Fraley's, and the next day they'll be at Iron Bank, and then back and forth. And so consequently, the boats that are hitting the right spot are really scoring on the fish. Pretty much everything has been taken. All the yellowfin, are being taken on calamari, chunk squid, and doing a lot of chumming, and they're coming up. But real good yellowfin tuna fishing right now. And I'd say, your chance about 50-50 if you get in the right spot. If you get in the wrong spot, you got smaller fish, 5 to 15 pounders, 1 or 2 or 3 maybe. But very, very good tuna fishing right now. The Dorado kind of disappeared. We don't have as many Dorado, but we picked up a few, and all of them are bigger fish. None of the smaller schooling fish right now. We expect them to roll back in. Wahoo's been good too. Wahoo's about the same as the tuna, about every other boat, every other day, something like that. They're taking the Rapalas and their Marauders, 20 to 60 pound fish. And the guys that are running into them, they're all in the same area, picking up 2 or 3. Bill fishing's good as well. Inside is good. Not much pressure on the rooster fish or the billfish either. Everybody's chasing the tuna around and doing pretty well on them. It's beautiful down here right now. The water temp, I was out myself yesterday and picked up a couple, and the water temp was between 85 and 86 degrees. The weather's real nice. The mornings are in the high 60s, low 70s, and then the temps are getting up to high 80s. October is a beautiful time of year to be down here. So, and the fishing's real good. It remains real good. Good blue, clear water. Just real nice to be out there.
Beautiful. I'll tell you what, when we were down there last week, the snorkeling, if you have a chance, the water, because it's been such beautiful weather,
so clear.
The snorkeling is unbelievable.
So clear.
Yeah, a lot of fish and warm water.
Yeah. The diving right out in front, the reef out in front of the hotel is just spectacular. The water is so clear now. It's like the Caribbean clear. I bet you the visibility is close to 100 feet. It's just awesome.
Can you imagine going over to Pulmo and diving Pulmo right now? How good it is.
Oh boy. I wish you were down here, Pete. We'd be diving the reef right now.
Incredible. Well, somebody wants to come down there. I love this time of the year down there. Such a great time. How do we go there?
Thanks, Pete. Yeah, and it really is a nice time of year to be down here. It's my spring. June is June is very similar to October, but the fishing's much better in October for sure. 800-646-2252. And we've got lots and lots of photos on the website. Check them out. We have all these fish posted on the website already today, rancholeonero.com.
Big tuna. All right, go get them. Thanks
Big
a lot,
tuna.
John. We sure appreciate the report, and we'll talk to you next Sunday.
You sure will. I'm going out right now.
All right, go get them, John.
Good luck, John.
Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
Thanks.
Appreciate that. Let's go ahead and jump into those phones. We do have a line open at 877-792-1090.
All right, let's talk to Wayne calling us from Point Loma this morning. Morning, Wayne. Well, thanks for getting us started here on the phones on Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, boys. How are you today?
Good. What's up, Wayne?
Hey, Scott.
Yes, sir.
You were talking about how things are going pretty well at the city, and you're absolutely right, of course, thanks to, in part, your great work. But we've got a few things on the ballot this fall.
More than a few.
One of them in particular is asking those of us that live in the city of San Diego to give the Chargers over $1 billion in public money for a new stadium downtown. What's your take on that?
Well, early on in the process, the first go-around when the city had their plan, I was fighting harder than anybody to keep the Chargers here in San Diego. That's why I was so excited when the NFL told the Chargers to come back to San Diego and give it another shot. And, the Chargers came out with their own proposal, decided, once again, not to work with the city. They came up, met with the mayor twice, and then put up their own measure to go forth with the taxpayer initiative that they proposed. And I tried to find stuff that I could embrace and hang my hat on to keep the NFL here in San Diego, because I do think that we need the NFL in San Diego. It's very, very important. But the more and more I looked at what they're proposing, it just doesn't make sense on so many levels. And I said so many times we need to keep the NFL here, but it has to be a deal that makes sense for everybody. And the only person I saw in this thing that this really makes sense for is Dean Spanos. I mean, just to give you a couple of ideas, we talk about the Chargers are going to be in charge of overruns for costs on the stadium, and the city will be on the hook for overruns of costs on the convention center construction. But if you look at how they define what is convention center in the measure, parking, restaurants, convention center space, common space, bathrooms, all of that is defined as convention space, and the field. Oh, and you have to have a roof over the field to make it a convention center space, and all the parking is subterranean and part of the foundation of the entire building. So if you look at what is defined as convention center space, everything except the seats and 3 walls of the building are defined as convention center space. So the taxpayers are on the hook for that. There's no money at all designed for improving infrastructure to get people in and out of downtown when you put a 60,000-seat stadium down there for game days. The city has to put up all the debt and issue the bonds. And if the numbers that the Chargers put forward with the projections of what the tourism dollars would bring, if those don't come to fruition, say we have a recession, downturn in the economy, and people don't show up and meet those numbers, the general fund is on the hook to make up the difference. So when they say it's not taxpayer money, well, it definitely could be.
I thought it was supposed to be paid by hotel taxes.
Yeah, it comes in.
Which I'm fine with. Let the tourists pay for it.
Yeah, and
I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. The problem is the convention center attached to a stadium and not a contiguous expansion of the current convention center. That's really where there's a big problem. And again, if those tourist numbers, those heads in beds, so to speak, if those numbers don't come to what the Chargers predict, the general fund has to pay for all that money. So how much do the Chargers have to put into this thing? Well, they're with the NFL and the Chargers are saying $600 million, but in exchange for the $600 million and the $1.2 billion in taxes, the Chargers get all the revenue from sports and entertainment events. They get all the revenue from advertising. They get all the revenue from seat licensing. They get all the revenue from game day attendance. The only thing that the city would get revenue from would be the convention center attendance. And we looked at Lucas Oil Field, which the Chargers said they're going to pattern their field and their convadium after. And we looked at it, and once you took out 2 million people went there in 1 year. You took out all the sporting and entertainment attendance. You took out the people who showed up just because they needed 60,000 seats for, a religious gathering, those types of things. the attendance for the actual convention space was 20,000 people.
Oh.
And they were booking prom nights, high school reunions, those types of things that don't put tourist heads in beds. And it's almost exactly the same as the San Diego situation, because you have a stadium, a convention center, some railroad tracks, and then a larger convention center connected by a tunnel. The time we looked at it, not one group that booked the large convention center space booked the non-contiguous attached to the stadium. Not one.
Not one.
So it all looks really good on paper, but it's really good for the Chargers and not so much for the city.
For the city, yeah. Oh, well. Well, thanks for getting us started on a political note there, Wayne.
Yeah, good call.
Wayne.
Yeah, good call telling
nice,
Ryan
Wayne.
you wanted to talk about the boat, too.
Yeah,
I wanted to talk about fishing and lobster.
Seriously.
Exactly.
Yeah,
All right.
way to
Thanks
sneak
a lot
one
for the
in.
call this morning.
All right. How about next up we talk to Lou. Lou's calling us from Fullerton this morning. Good morning, Lou. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, everybody.
What up, Lou?
Go again. Hey, guys.
Morning.
Hey, my question is to Scott. Scott, you talked about the coverage for insurance, for the tackle, for all your personal and attached items. How about when you have a boat in storage down in Baja in a secure place? Is the insurance covering it?
Good question.
It depends on the company. There are a few companies that offer coverage down in Baja that can get coverage to extend while it's, a lot of guys take their boat out of the water when they're not using it, store it in a nice stored facility that's dry, and they're up on a trailer, and there will be coverage for that depending on the company. But it's very select. There's only a few that will do it.
And you know which companies do that?
Yeah, Travelers used to be one of them, depending on the side of the boat, and there's a couple others that the names are escaping me off the top of my head right now. But we've done that in the past. There was a guy in La Paz that had the coverage for the boat while it was up on land, but they made sure that it was a secure location, that they had a guard there watching the place and those types of things. So, I mean, they look at it. And a few of the companies actually have claims adjusters and that's stationed in Baja and in mainland Mexico, so they can send representatives out to check things out.
Do you represent any Mexican insurance companies, or is there such a thing?
My wife writes Mexican insurance for when you're traveling into Mexico, but
like car insurance.
But it's mostly by land, not by water.
Okay, all right.
But
you can get that coverage.
We can get that type of coverage, yeah. And my wife, before she got involved with the insurance agency at Fifth Avenue now over at Snapp, that's what she did before she got into this. Was she did Mexican insurance?
Oh, okay.
That was
all right.
That
so
was
she understands it.
Inside and out, she's very, very fluent. She used to handle claims process in Mexico, so she understands that inside and out.
The same deal. If we're wanting to trailer the boat down to the corral or even farther, we can get a short-term policy for that trip kind of thing.
Yeah, she can go for a week, a day, or get it for a year, whichever.
But there again, instead of just stopping at some place on your way to the border, we sell insurance. You're actually getting something that covers the boat and covers covers all the things that are going to be about your trip,
right.
Which are, I'm sure, vastly more than, hey, we're going to pull over and grab Mexican insurance for $20 for the day and assume that everything's going to be handled.
And you have somebody who's got all kinds of experience on the claims side of Mexican insurance
huge.
Which is huge when you're not knowing how to deal with things in the event of something happening down there.
How long does it take for a short-term policy like that? Because I'm horrifically bad about the procrastinating of, oh man, we'll plan this Baja trip for a month out, but then when it comes down to it, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much time does one need to appropriately give themselves to get a proper insurance for something like that?
Depending on the longevity and how much you're doing and where you're going, and that usually a couple hours, and you can get all the information and get on the computer.
That's it?
That's so cool.
You could do like a procrastination rock cod Rick
Yeah,
special?
even for somebody like me.
Yeah. Quite frankly, I make a living on people like Rick.
Yeah. Well, I'm keeping you in business, buddy. No problems.
All right. Good question, Lou. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls, more great questions. If you want a shot to get through, 858-457-1090. It's open right now. More Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
Nothing is more exciting than fishing Cedros Island on a Hobie Mirage Drive kayak. And Cedros Kayak Fishing will hook you up on this amazing experience. Cedros Kayak Fishing offers deluxe accommodations in their beautiful secluded casita with all the comforts you would expect from a high-end resort, including single occupancy rooms and filtered water. Kayak tours are on Hobie Outback kayaks with bait tanks, fish finder, and VHF radios to ensure a great experience. Fly to Cedros and travel light, as Cedros Tackle has has a fully outfitted tackle shop, including top-of-the-line rental gear. After a long day on the water, enjoy delicious local cuisine prepared by the staff. Cedros Kayak Adventures also has a fully outfitted panga and off-road truck and trailer to take you to super secluded spots. Fish where the others don't with Cedros Kayak Fishing. Come join Jeff and the gang for a great trip on Cedros Island. Visit the website at cedroskayakfishing.com for more information and to book your trip.
It's time to get excited about fishing, and Point Loma Sport Fishing has everything you'll need. They offer half-day and three-quarter-day trips daily, perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips, targeting the best of seasonal catches. Visit their website at pointlomasportfishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627.
Saturday, November 5th, it's Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. It's our largest sale ever. Plenty of seminars by saltwater experts, incredible deals on tackle, closeouts we've never offered before. Plus, over 20 tackle manufacturers representatives like Shimano, with great reels like Talica, Tranx, Trinidad A, and Twin Power. We also have a great selection of the new Terramar rods by Shimano. Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing will have unbelievable pricing on tackle, clothing, and accessories. There is also a huge raffle, best ever tackle bargains at Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing, Saturday, November 5th.
It's time for our Power Pro 60-second seminar. Yesterday we talked about Talica 50, the beast for long-range fishing. Now let's talk about Hollow Ace, what you put on a Talica 50.
Yeah, right? No doubt. Hollow Ace is certainly the nicest of big fish hollow specters. It's a 16-carrier line. 16-carrier refers to the amount of threads that are in the weave, and when you have more threads in there, it just makes it a lot easier on yourself when you're doing insert-style connections, splicing loops, whipping lines, things like that. It makes it a lot easier. The nice thing about Hollow Ace is connections are super, super easy, and they're really clean. We do a lot this time of year. If you got hollow spectra on your reels, you fished a couple of trips with it, line's got a little twisted up, or line's been funky from years of fishing, we can strip off 100 yards, hollow to hollow splice. You'll never even see the connection.
Never see it.
And put a new fresh 100 yards on all of your reels instead of
refilling it with 700 yards.
Exactly. Saving you money, and you're fishing with brand new line on your new trip. It's awesome.
You bet. Hollow Ace is the way to go. Check it out at your local Power Pro dealer, or check powerpro.com.
It's big, it's comfortable, and she is beautiful. The state-of-the-art long-range sport fishing vessel, the Independence. Veteran captains Mark Paisano and Paul Strasser built this incredible 112-foot vessel with the most modern technology and luxurious comfort available. Captain Jeff DuBois has helped make the Independence a top-notch operation. Call Independence Sport Fishing at 619-226-6006 or check the availability on spring, summer, and fall trips now at IndependenceSportFishing.com.
If the fish are biting, I'm on my boat, rain or shine. Of course I wear my life jacket. It's like wearing a seatbelt. Clip it on, grab my tackle box, and hit the water.
Love California, Boat California, Save California. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
Yamaha's Why Wait for Spring Fall Sales event is here. For a limited time, eligible new 90 to 300 horsepower four-strokes include 6 years of warranty protection. And eligible new 2.5 to 75 horsepower four-strokes get you up to $600 in dealer credit. Reliability starts here. Yamaha. Offer ends November 22nd, 2016. Subject to change at any time. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Choice offered to Florida residents is a 36-month Yamaha limited warranty. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. This promotion cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
XEPRS 1090 AM Rosarito, Baja California.
The best NFL coverage is right here. San Diego's sports leader, the mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
All right, let's find out what's biting out there.
You got it, man. It is time for the Catch Report, which today is sponsored in part by Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. Fisherman's Processing is San Diego's finest, and that's why they're known as the Fish Pros. And once you try them, I guarantee you'll be hooked. They'll fillet, vacuum pack all of your fish, all exactly to your specifications. 3-mil bags, 5-mil bags, whatever size you want, whatever amount of fish you want, they will custom pack your order exactly the way you want it, as well as offer the very best in smoked fish. And I don't know about you, but my favorite is that yellowtail teriyaki jerky they make is so good, man. There's nothing like Fisherman's Processing. Also, they got those great famous tuna burgers. Check fishermansprocessing.com for more details, or you can see them when your trip returns to the San Diego landings. Let's start off up at Dana War Sport Fishing. Talk to the man, Captain Brian Woolley's on the line. What's up, Woolley?
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you this morning?
We're doing great. What's going on at Dana Wharf?
Gosh, man, it's just that time of year that, traditionally we wait for this fall fishing all year, and my favorite, no doubt. But we had a killer week this week up here. Starting off the beach, we had good shots at fish every single day this week. It's nice. This block of water that the fish is in has been just a straight shot for us right out of the harbor, which has been really, really good. It's a good mixed grade of yellowfin. There's some smaller fish, like a smaller little grade, 8 to 15 pound, on up to like the 25 to 40 plus fish. Again, we're getting the boat stopped on breaking fish, jumpers, little breezers, meter marks, sonar stops, bird schools. Yesterday, for example, Calvin on the charter boat Helena, he got stopped on just 3 birds and ended that stop with 33 of that bigger grade fish, 25 to 40 pound fish. The Fury ended his day on, I think it was on Thursday. He had 63 yellowfin at the end of the day for his fishing. So it's been good to see, there's a good spread of fish between multiple banks out here. And, it's from day to day, it's been a matter of, being in the right water. The water where we're catching this fish, it's been in that 68 realm, 68 degrees, 68 and a half, kind of like that. And it's not been the best color water, but that's where the bait has been piled up. And, we know how that all works out. So good yellowfin in our accounts every single day this week, and we're starting to see that smaller 3 to 5 pound yellowtail and some kelps out there too, which has been a good opportunity as well. The guys that are getting the bites are the guys fishing that lighter lines. It's still the same deal. The 20 pound fluorocarbon with a small hook, the small bronze hook has been the key to getting the bites. So that's kind of been the offshore scene for us. On the beach, bringing it back inside, the calico bass fishing has continued to be real steady for both our half day and 3/4 day guys. Just about every single kelp line along the beach there, below or above the harbor, has been producing fish. The key again, just fly line sardine, and the guys catching fish as well on the artificial stuff, the jerk baits, the rubber lures, a few fish on the surface iron as well. So a couple bonito in the mix, some sheephead, and it's made for some phenomenal fishing for sure. And there's still the rockfish. We're still getting some of that on our 3/4 day stuff that's staying on the beach. Loading the bags for the anglers on that whole deal. So great opportunity right now. The loads certainly are where you'd think they would be this time of year. It's not too crowded. So if you guys want to hop on a trip with us, we got the gamut running, half days, 3/4 days, limited load offshore stuff. So certainly call the landing. Reservations are just as important this time of year as they are when we're full swing during the summer. The number to the office is 949-496-5794. Of course, you can check us out on the web at danawharf.com. And as always, like every week, we urge you guys to take advantage of that Let's Talk Hookup discount. You can find the banner ad right on the front page of the Let's Talk Hookup website. Click on that banner ad. It'll give you a discount code. Book it from there. Now, I will tell you that on the offshore stuff, the limited load trips, that discount code will not work. But if you're looking for a half day with a group of people or whatever, please use the discount code. It'll save you a chunk of money.
Oh, a big chunk of money. Yeah, that's it. Right on the front page of our website, hookup1090.com. Just click on that Dana Wharf banner. You got it. Hey, Brian Woolley, Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, thanks a lot. Great report, and fish are biting. Get out there and go fishing.
That's it. We're hoping for a good week this week as well. So thanks for the time, guys, and enjoy the rest of the show. Thanks.
All right. Appreciate that report.
Thanks, Woolley. All right, now let's hit the surf zone with our surf guru, the man on the surf fishing scene. Gundy Gunderson is on the line. What's up, Gundy?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
We're doing really good, man. How are you?
Good. Like Willie said, there's some good fishing in patches. In the fall, what you think about is conditions. I say this time and time again, but, you might get temperature drops. You might get a little wind and a couple degrees, and it might knock down the area you're fishing or the stretch you're fishing. But if the water cleans back up, it can come right back. So it's all about conditions, and you really have to be on it. But there's plenty of fish in the surf line, and let me start up there at hook, line, sinker. Reported continued good halibut fishing there. This has been going on for several weeks now. Lots of schools of small anchovies have held these fish in the shallow. Graveyards to East Beach has been one of their hot spots. Goleta, Butterfly, the harbor mouth, Stearns, which is inside the harbor. The guys throwing small anchovy pattern swim baits are doing real good on these fish. The hard jerk baits also working. Wiley's reported the first Uptown Derby this week. It was held on Saturday. A 1 pound, 5 ounce fish took top honors there, taking off Ventura on a mussel. And they also had several fish in the 1 pound class, just over 1 pound. Not a lot of fish, but the ones they caught were quality. And then there was some yellowfin croaker and corbina in the mix, too. Just fishing in Redondo reported bonita, small yellowtail in and around King Harbor there, bubble fly rig, green and yellow feather, blue and white feather, crocodiles, catchmasters working, big fish in Seal Beach. And this is one of those things I'm telling you about, reported tons of corbina in the surf line, bouncing off the guy's ankles, but they can't get a bite. There was just a little water temperature dip this week in that area. So that's one of those things you kind of sit on. You know those fish are there. You wait for the better conditions. And pretty much south, the best bet was the bonita on the pier. Streaky water a little bit, so some days you got that clean water, those bonita are there. So it's all about kind of taking a look and staying on top of it. But this time of year, you can have some of your best fishing. You know, you find a school of Corvina that knows winter's coming and they want to bite one tide swing, a good strong tide swing, and you're going to have a good day. So well worth the effort right now. You just got to stay on it.
Fish bouncing off your feet is a good problem to start with.
I know.
Thanks.
Those Corvina, man, they'll challenge you. But like I said, late in the fall, I've had days where you'll get 6 or 8 fish. You just hit that right tide swing and the right conditions, and that's what you gotta look for.
Time to get 'em.
Cool, Gundy. Well, great report as always. We appreciate you keeping us up to date with such good information all the way up and down the coast, and look forward to another great one next Sunday.
All right, gentlemen, great show. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Gundy. All right, that's going to wrap up our catch report today. Again, if you want to get through the best way, 858-457-1090 or 877-792-1090. Let's jump back into the phones and talk to Jim, who's calling us from Poway this morning. Hi, Jim. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
What's up, Ricky? How you doing, Pete?
Morning,
Jim. Oh, hey, Jim.
Hey, Rick. 2 weeks in a row, huh?
Yeah, it's good to hear from you.
Hey, Scott.
Yes, sir.
I've had AAA for the last 30 years, and I have everything through them: boat, house, flood, earthquake, vehicles. Is there a way, if I brought my policy in, have you take a look at it and see if there's a way to possibly save some money on that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's kind of what we do. Is so many times I just tell people, look, schedule a time to come down to the office, bring your coverage with you. We'll sit down, talk about what you have, maybe what you need, what you don't need, and we'll put it through the system. And sometimes you'll find out that we save you money, and other times you'll find out that you're fine right where you are. And I don't have a problem telling you that. Too many times people try and sell you a bill of goods, but if you've got a good deal and you've been there for a long time and you're getting discounts and that kind of stuff, I'll tell you you're good to go. But many times we find out just the opposite, that we can help.
I would guess, especially a scenario like
complacent. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what happens a lot of times is people just get complacent, they pay their bill, they move on, and they don't realize that, wow, if I at least keep the company honest about once every 3 or 4 years, just to make sure.
I'll give you an example of my experience with formerly Fifth Avenue, now Snapp Insurance, as I was with Boat U.S. Like, they're supposed to have the best rates in town, right, or best rates in the United States. And guess what? They don't. I saved a lot of money and got the most important thing is I didn't save a ton of money, but I had much better coverage through Snapp than I did before.
Right.
For basically the same or maybe even a little less money.
Yeah, and that's what happens.
And the right kind of coverage.
That's what happens a lot of times, too, is the right kind of coverage. I remember the first time that you and I looked at your boat policy and realized, hey, you don't have any coverage in Mexico. And so we started looking at different policies that cover in Mexico.
Yep.
And that's another thing about Mexican coverage a lot of times, too, is if you have a problem with the boat in Mexico, say you run into a log or something floating in the water and you have to go have it fixed, you have to pay for it in Mexico to get it fixed, and the companies will reimburse you what it would cost to get that repaired in the United States. Because what they don't want to do is say you're down in the middle of Baja somewhere and you're kind of at the mercy of the one guy in town who has the one part who fits your boat. He's going to charge you an arm and a leg to get back.
Very expensive.
They're not going to reimburse you for the entire amount. What they would reimburse you for is what it would cost to get that done in the States.
In the States, yeah, which makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
I would think a scenario like Jim was describing where he has a bunch of different insurance spread out through different agencies, I would think that would probably be the most ideal guy to go to Snapp and probably receive some kind of a discount because, like you were saying before, you might save a little bit on this one, you might save a little bit on that one, you might save a teeny bit here, but all of a sudden you add all those together, it's probably going to be a whole lot more convenient on your end to be dealing with one agency, and then you add all those little ones up, I'm sure they can add to a significant discount.
Yeah, and then now that we're together with John here over at Snapp, I mean, the amount of markets available to us have
That's what I'm saying, yeah, totally.
expanded dramatically. And Snaps have been around for a while, and they have specialty markets, too. So, like for restaurant owners, they have a specialty workers' compensation product that is very, very good and usually competes with most other work comp carriers out there.
That's cool.
And that's a specialty program that they have that we can now add as an enhancement, putting the two of us together.
Oh, very good. Jim, so what Jim would do would be to call you, leave a message for you.
Call down at Snapp, ask for me or for one of the people, one of my assistants down there, or for my wife, Norma. She's down there, too. So a lot of times you can get either one of us.
Yeah. There you go, Jim.
Hey, one other thing, Scott.
Sure.
It was a pleasure being able to launch you on your boat when you've got it, because I know we got our Parkers about the same time.
Oh,
and you really want to get that upper steering station. I finally got mine done, and what a world of difference it makes being able to run the boat from up there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm a couple of times backing the boat down on a couple of things, or trying to see what was down there. You have to kind of walk out from the cabin a bunch of, from the helm a couple of times to look around and see what's going on. It'd be much nicer to put it up there. So that's probably one of the new issues.
To do.
Jim's on the same dock that we are down at Dana Landing. I was on our boat yesterday doing some electronic stuff, and I went down just to, check the dock lines for a buddy kind of thing. And it looks really good with that upper tower on there, Jim.
Thanks, Ricky.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Good
Thanks a lot for the
I'll
call.
kind of all together really quick, but, man, what a difference between that and a 21-foot Triumph.
No doubt about that.
Yeah,
Which
a
I have
little
for sale,
bit
by the way. If
different,
anybody
right?
wants a 21-foot Triumph that's totally decked out.
Oh, you got a 21 Triumph. Yeah, after that little...
it's a good place to start.
But you know what? That Triumph is like bulletproof.
No doubt,
Those
man.
things work. So...
Well, mine's got autopilot. It's got a belly ring up top. Ricky knows I don't skimp when it comes to getting electronics and stuff and decking out a boat. And this is one decked out 21-foot center console. So
sweet.
Sure,
if
somebody
wants to...
I'm sure somebody will be excited to get it from you one of these days.
All right. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate the call this morning.
Hey, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. Another full hour. We're also going to check in with the catch reports, find out what's biting up and down the beach. Lots of great stuff coming up. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Rock Cod Rick here for West Coast Marine and Parker Boats. You see them all over Southern California waters. Parker Boats at the launch ramp, the offshore islands. You wake up in the morning on an overnight trip, and there they are. Parker Boats of all size fishing in the same area as the sporties. There's a good reason for it. Fishability and seaworthiness. Of all the boats out there, my boat partner and I chose to get a brand new 25 Parker center console from Kevin Kelly and the gang at West Coast Marine, and I could not be happier. Wow, what a fishing machine. Parker Marine builds a heavy-duty, industrial-strength boat, probably overbuilt, but that's why so many 4- and 6-pack charters choose to operate Parkers. We thank the guys at Pinnacle Sport Fishing, Season Sport Fishing, One-Man Charters, Black and Blue Sport Fishing for their confidence in Parker boats. Take it from me, if you are ready for a new Parker at a fair, upfront, and honest deal, you need to see Kevin Kelly at West Coast Marine, located at 1555 Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa, or check out their inventory and information at westcoastmarine.com.
For decades, the Kona Kai has been considered San Diego's premier marina, resort, and spa. Now, with millions of dollars in upgrades, the Kona Kai Resort is a destination for travelers worldwide who can live it every day. The docks and services are the finest quality in San Diego, and the Kona Kai is the closest marina to the open ocean. As a marina tenant, you enjoy many benefits, including secured free parking, a deluxe health club, swimming pool, and more. Enjoy discounts at their restaurant, bar, and hotel. If you don't have a boat, there are memberships available at a very affordable price. The Kona Kai Club has been offering members a home away from home since 1953. Members can spend their days on Kona Kai's private beach, meet new people in the club's modern lounge, share a meal with family at Vessel Restaurant and Bar, or pamper themselves in Spa Terra. Check out ResortKonakai.com on the web for more information, to reserve a slip, or inquire about joining the club. The Kona Resort, like being on vacation every day in your own backyard. What a tuna and yellowtail season last year. Many say the best in 30 years. Could this season be even better? Don't be caught without the right gear. Now is the time to stock up on the trolling lure that proved to be the best. X-Rap Magnum by Rapala. Every X-Rap Magnum runs perfect right out of the box. They all have extreme action and a controlled deep diving aggressive swimming motion. The large diving lip partners with premium BMC hooks and an irresistible rattle. The X-Rap Magnum by Rapala can be trolled at high speeds without rolling trolling or kicking out at depths to 15 feet. Bottom line, the X-Rap Magnum is the ultimate trolling lure for Southern California and Baja saltwater fishing. With a textured translucent body, internal holographic foil, and 3D holographic eye, X-Rap Magnums are irresistible to saltwater game fish. Available in a variety of colors and sizes. No matter what you choose, the fish can't resist X-Rap Magnum by Rapala. Ask your local tackle dealer which is the hottest color and size and start catching more fish. See the entire line at rapala.com.
XEPRS 1090 AM Rosarito, Baja California.
You're listening to the home of the Major League Playoffs and World Series. San Diego sports leader, the mighty 1090.
Great boats, free parking, and a fully stocked tackle shop. Just a few of the reasons Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top charter boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Eclipse, Apollo, Outer Limits, Pacific Star, El Gato Dos, Alexis, Pride, Privateer, Tribute, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth Sea Watch in San Diego offer the finest half, 3/4, and full-day trips available. Check out the full-service tackle store at Seaforth Sport Fishing. And it's all run by fishermen for fishermen. 1717 Quivira Road, just off Mission Bay Drive in Mission Bay. Book online at seaforthlanding.com.
Cast Tours is a family-owned and operated travel company that specializes in taking you to great fishing destinations. They take pride in providing the best and most affordable vacation packages available. For over 20 years, Cast Tours has been creating unique sport fishing and vacation trips. Whether it's a fishing trip, a family vacation, or an adventure, they will provide you the service and value you deserve. Call Cast Tours at 800-593-6510 or check casttours.com.
This time of year, the fishing offshore is hit and miss. Some days you struggle, the other days you come home with your limit of yellowfin. Believe me, you never know. But unlike the unpredictability of fishing, you can always count on Ford F-Series pickups. America's best-selling trucks, 39 years and counting. One reason F-150 is so popular with fishermen is the high-strength military-grade aluminum body panels. Chevy, Dodge, and Toyota bodies will all eventually rust, but not F-150. Its body panels won't rust ever. That's pretty important for folks like us that launch boats on a regular basis. And F-150's revolutionary body is bolted to a solid steel frame to make it stronger, more capable, and more efficient than ever. When it comes to trucks, fishermen and fisherwomen can always rely on Ford. And right now is a great time to buy. Special incentives have just been announced. That means bigger savings and lower payments on F-150. Log on to their new website, buyfordnow.com, for all the details. That's buyfordnow.com. Then stop by your nearest San Diego County Ford dealer. They'll be glad to hook you up.